Hello, citizens of Tokusatsu Central. I am Jared Rand, and today I'm going to bring you the review of the DX Verse Changer Patranger version. Since, of course, I am Team Patranger. So, Kyuranger has finally ended, and a new show has come in to take its place in the superhero time block. And that show is Kaitou Sentai Lupinranger versus Keisatsu Sentai Patranger. So, I've seen the first episode. It's pretty good overall. And this is probably one of the most interesting changers I've ever seen. And hopefully soon I want to be able to talk about the significance of using these two types of teams in a versus sort of idea. So, this is the first ever Sentai to have two teams in one show as the main plot. So, let's get right into what's actually included in this set. So here we have everything included in this version of the Verse Changer. The actual Verse Changer itself and the Patren, or the Ichigo Trigger Machine, or Trigger Machine Ichigo. I'm not good with the names yet. But this is what you get with this version of the set. If you were Team Lupinranger, then you would buy the Lupinranger version, which instead of coming with Trigger Machine Ichigo, comes with the Red Dial Fighter, which we'll look at later. But since I am Team Patranger, as I think they are, their form over style, they are more interesting, and they have a much more interesting purpose to them than, the Lupinranger, which I will get into, hopefully in a later video, the meaning of using these two teams. But let's just get social commentary out of here and look at the actual Trigger Machine. So here's Trigger Machine Ichigo in a black and white color scheme with bits of red all over the toy. Right here, this straight line, the trigger right here, the wheels, and the spoiler on the back. Sort of designed to look like a big truck mixed with a police car. Press the button on the back and you get that right there. When you roll it, that spins. Taking a look closer at the details of the toy, you get a number 1 right there, the Patranger logo. Of course, some very nice, beautifully vibrant blue headlights right there. A little spinny thing. Very nice. Spins as the wheels move, and it moves well. Spins the trigger button back there. This will press it'll press the trigger of the Verse Changer, because the trigger itself for the Verse Changer actually goes down very far, so it works to its advantage. And then, some bits of sort of shotgun thing, or not shotgun, sort of turret spots on the actual thing, and pulling this down, you get the face for Pat Kaiser, which I honestly like more than Lupin Kaiser. I don't know, I just like it more. So, and since the Good Striker is coming out next month, we'll show that off once I get my 2 Good Strikers. Yes, I am buying 2. And we'll work that out when that comes to it. But yeah, so that's it for the Red Trigger Machine. Very Ichigo. So here is the Verse Changer. I prefer to call it the Verse Changer, not the Versus Changer, because it's changing the verse of the team, depending on which one you put in, so, and verse and stuff. So, as you can see, there's a lot of translucent red pieces all over the toy, as is this trigger right here, the actual trigger. These right here, the light switch, if you look closely, have the logos for the Lupinrangers and the Patranger. And then a button right there for the release of your dial fighters or trigger machines. It's mostly done in white with bits of orange all over it. As you can see, doing a quick slide by of the actual toy. Once again, done in a beautifully glossy white. Of course, with bits of orange all over the toy. As you can see, the trigger fits in my hand pretty well, but not necessarily the biggest of triggers that I've seen that would go to the Gabu revolver. That thing is fucking huge. and a gigantic handle right here for twisting this piece right here, depending on which team you're using. So this takes about 2 AAA batteries, on and off switch right there. Let's turn this bad boy on. So, pressing the trigger, you get a standard firing noise. You can rapid fire it. It's that cool, man. So, it's just your standard fare, but pressing this back, there's the Patoranger form. They don't do this in the show, but that'll be the standardized twisting sound. So, yeah, and there's some of the bottom detail, just so you know. Speaker right there. Honestly, it's not the biggest of guns. It's very similar to the size of the Gabba revolver, but definitely not as big as that guy. I have the Gabba revolver, but it's not working. I may need to get a new one. So, now that we have that done with, we can actually do the transformation. So, all you'll need to do is take your trigger machine and place it right on. Just wait. Pat rise. Oh yeah. Oh, I love this. Just press this back and twist it down. Press the trigger. And there you have the transformation noise for Patren Ichigo. So now like this, you get a new shot noise, which I like, because depending on which team you have in the actual verse changer, then you get a different shooting noise. This one's very, realistic sort of shooting noise. As you can see, the Patoranger logo right there on the light. Okay, now, to summon the mecha, you just press this back, twist it back into its standard position, and twist it back down. Press the trigger. If you're wondering what it literally just said, that whole summoning noise after the trigger, it said rumble and roar. So each one of the trigger machines has their own sort of phrase to go with it, while the dial fighters actually have just the name with the dubstep horn, which I'll show off in the next review. So we'll just twist it like that, and it returns back to the standard noise. And then just to take it off, you press this button right here and slide it off. So, we will get right into my final thoughts. So overall, the Verse Changer is a pretty fun toy. I mean, not as, playability, or not as, variety, I don't know how to say it, but it doesn't have as much playability as the Seiza Blaster on its own, but the more trigger machines and dial fighters you get, the more playability you get out of this guy. So once again, it's a sort of pay-to-play line. Get out of here, Gokaiger. But this line, I can tell, is already going to be lots of fun, all of the different mechas sliding into there and how satisfying it is. The different trigger machines you have. Like, look at this. What the fuck? All the different designs that you can get are extremely interesting and, in a way, almost intricate how they work. Verse Changer itself, instead of just being more playability based, it's how it feels and all of the noises itself. Instead of having like more noises, the noises in this are a lot better than the ones in the Seiza Blaster. And yeah, while I do like the technological sounds to the Seiza Blaster, I do really love the way the Verse Changer feels and overall is designed. So, thank you guys for watching. Like if you enjoyed the video that much. Subscribe if you want to see more. And comment if you want to ask any questions about the actual toy. You can check out my Instagram, Rand.Jared. And, of course, check out my other YouTube channel, Jared the Collector New. And I will see my fellow citizens of Tokusatsu Central next time when I review the DX Trigger Machines Nigo and Sango.